involved and get in touch with us. The hashtag to use is game plan. Let us know in your own view what you think has to happen for us to get back, at least begin to get back and wrestle the poor nature of our football. Let's do that today. No blame games. We know what it is. We know what's wrong with the system, with the players, or the tactics, the coaches, the governance, whatever it is. What do you think we should do, or what should be the beginning of our recovery plan? What has to happen first? What, in your view, has to change for our football to begin to get back to the top? What must we do? What are the critical areas? What specific things must we do in these areas to get our football back to the top, to get our football back to the very top? It's an academic exercise. So I'm very interested in hearing from you what you think has to happen. Because at this point, we're not going to the AFCON. We've not won in fact, we've not played a knockout football match since 2019. The Black Stars, that is. That is how long it is. That's how bad it must be that Ghana has not played knockout football since 2019. Since that game against Tunisia, when Ghana lost by a penalty shootout 5-4 after the game ended 1-0 in extra time, Ghana has not played knockout football in any competition as far as the Black Stars are concerned. That's how bad it is. More than half of the countries on the African continent will be at the AFCON. Ghana is not part of that list. Do you know what that means? Ghana, the beacon of hope, the gateway to Africa, what have you. More than half of the countries on the African continent will be playing at the AFCON. 24 teams are at the AFCON out of the 54 countries. Ghana is not part of the top half of the countries on the continent when it comes to football. That reality in itself is bewildering. So we are interested. Everybody must be interested on the way forward. So let me hear from you. Send me a message on WhatsApp or leave me a message on X or Twitter with the hashtag game plan. If you prefer WhatsApp, the number is 055 1111997. 055-1111-997. And don't just tell me dissolve the FA. Dissolve the FA and do what? What has to happen after that dissolution? It's a fair point. We need specifics, all right? So, listen, wherever you are, thank you for joining us here on Game Plan. We are on till 3 p.m. The show is proudly brought to you by Betway. Are you ready to get way more chances to win? With Betway, every single day, you have the key to unlock 5 free spins on Mega Money Wheel, where you stand to win a massive 1 million Ghana Cedi jackpot. So what are you waiting for? Log into betway.com.gh today and take your spin. All thanks to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. It's regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway, get way more. And also, Petrosol, proud sponsors of this show for the longest time. And Petrosol Platinum Energy says every drop matters just as every penny counts. You must know that good quality fuel enhances your vehicle performance and reduces maintenance costs. So take no risk in times like this. All you need is value for your money. Look no further. Drive to the next Petrosol Platinum Energy fuel station for your clean, accurate quantity fuel suitable for new technology vehicles. Be a happy customer, fill with smiles, drive more miles, and save some money. Petrosol, your clean, quality fuel in full quantity. Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. The guys are here. Sichofe Philip Achirim.
Su.
When you say Su, where's Daniel Kranti? Where is he?
I'm sure he'll be joining us.
Where is he? Mufta, where's Daniel Kranti?
You're asking me about someone's husband.
What kind of life is
Isn't
this?
your colleague at work?
What kind of life is
about your
this?
colleague at work.
Where is that slim boy?
You know, be in colleague at work.
Where is he?
And he doesn't know, so he's asking you. Then you can go like, I'm not sure.
Mufta
what
is
it
not. Mufta is not
It's
correct.
as simple as that.
Mufta is not correct. Mufta
I'm
is
not
correct.
Are you suggesting I am long?
Yes, you are very long. You are very long. Anyway, so Daniel will join us. Achu will also join us. Of course, all of them here on the show. But guys, how have you been?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Fair.
You've been okay?
Yeah.
What kind of week have you had?
Oh, brilliant week.
Yeah.
The Black Stars disappointed. But of course, I wasn't gonna dwell on that. Yesterday was my big brother's birthday, so happy belated birthday to him. Engineer Felix Achim. And so we stayed home the whole of yesterday, celebrated the birthday, and yeah. So so my voice is even some way because yesterday was a ball, you know. So I've had a very wonderful week. I've not allowed the Black Stars disappointment to ruin the rest of my week. So yeah, it's been good.
Muftau.
I didn't die like Otto. He died for 2 days.
Otto said he died.
Yeah.
And for the past 2 days.
Yeah.
And he took friends and family members to
yeah.
get him. I mean, that was, to be fair, very emotional to hear.
Yeah. And in fact, it buttresses the point I make often that these players, these officials, these technical team members, they feel the impact of the defeat even more than you and I.
Yeah.
Because they are close to it. In fact, I remember when we exited the AFCON and we were having a conversation here, or game plan, I was like, sometimes we go at these officials and players and technical team members as though they are happy to lose. When they win, we get emotional satisfaction. When they win, they get emotional satisfaction plus some good bucks in their pockets. And I listened to that interview that Otuado granted to the FA media team, and a chunk of the things he said were quite emotional. They were quite emotional, and Sicho will say that he doesn't want to be in his position. Yeah, clearly I don't want to be in his position because it's quite a difficult situation to find yourself. First coach in 24 years to lose at Baba Yara. First coach to lead a national team to fail to qualify for an AFCON in about 20 years. It's difficult for anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, for those of you who might be interested, this is what Otto said about being dead in the past 2 days following the game.
But now I got a lot of positive feedback. Also, I was, to be honest, I was like the last 2 days I was dead. But now I got a lot of positive feedback also, and a lot of support from family, friends. And this is the time where I need them. And also I think all the players, all the team needs it. And this brought me back on track. And very, very important for us, I think, to think ahead now, to try as much as possible to win the last games. Mathematically, there's still a chance, and we will give everything. We will prepare the team. We try to prepare them even better than before to reach our goals.
That last part, I don't quite agree.
That mathematics, I was like, Otto, what's up? Mathematically.
No, but friends, that is all he could have said. Look, yeah, the team was bad and everything, but the truth of the matter is Ghana is not out of contention. What Ghana can do is to win their next 2 games and see what happens. And it's the start of that conversation. It's important it came from the coach in the way it did, because the coach granted that interview, and it was like, "We are sorry, we won't qualify for the AFCON." Then the players have no business even showing up for the rest of the 2 games.
That's like throwing in the towel already.
So the coach has to sound like, we know we're in a tight place. We know that our destiny isn't in our own hands, but we will keep going until the end. And it is football. We've seen teams who have some way, somehow. Listen, I don't think Ghana will qualify, but I'm saying that if Ghana wins its next 2 games and the rest of the teams, especially Sudan, don't do their job, then Ghana is going to be like, we did our part, you didn't do yours, we are through. So I get why the coach would wrap up that interview by sticking with the little positivity around what is happening. Realistically, I know we won't be there, but I wouldn't be expecting the coach to it's like my United's manager Eric Ten Hag comes out to say they won't be competing for the league. There is a conversation you can have behind doors, right?
Circle, yeah.
But you can't tell the fan groups of Man United, all the players, that they won't be competing. It's not possible. You can't create that mentality in the open. So aside with Otto, I like what he said, and it's good that the players who should know that they have a job to do, at least win the next 2 games. And look, winning the next 2 games could be the start of something. It could be just winning the next 2 games, missing out of the AFCON, but continuing from there to win the rest of the World Cup qualifiers game and getting to the World Cup and building on from there. So I get why Otto would say that.
Achicha Sam is here as well.
Bro, miss you. I have a question to ask you. Why? Your leave didn't finish.
We love Ghana.
Wait, he's on leave and
We love Ghana.
You do.
We love Ghana, so we have
wait,
to.
you're on leave.
Yeah.
Yes.
And because of the Black
In
Stars,
fact, this
He's
is
here.
the last day of my leave.
shall you put for the watch the leave they give and check like you know you hear him like that.
Yeah.
But I was tired of staying out.
How was your leave?
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few.
You've been moving, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been
Yeah, you've been busy.
a few unexpected issues, but yeah, it's been good. We're hoping the Black Stars and the satellites would give us some reason to smile, but it looks like.
Some way.
The weekend is smiling. The Black Stars to bring us joy.
But look, I don't have an issue with what Otto said with regards to our chances of qualifying. I think he has to reflect a certain level of positivity and give hope, not just to the team, but to Ghanaians, however minute it may be.
My issue is that I don't think the hope lies in qualifying. There can be there's a lot of hope. Like you said, he needs to, like Sister said, he needs to ooze and bring some positivity to the whole situation, which has been really bad. But I'm just thinking that positivity doesn't lie in.
We'll come to that.
In qualifying.
We'll come
Sister
to
said it, yes. We've seen crazier things happening in football.
We'll come to that.
I don't even
Except
think they should have mentioned the qualification in the first place. He could have still mentioned the fact that we have 2 games remaining. We still have to win those 2 games. He doesn't need to say that we will do everything possible to qualify.
We're both on the same wavelength.
Yeah, we are.
In the sense that there was something wrong with the communication. Right?
Yeah.
This is perhaps the lowest point in Ghana's modern football history.
True.
However, he has job security,
Yes.
which is crazy when you think about the fact that he's done so poor a job that we've ended up in a situation where we are within a period where, for all intents and purposes, results, performances, vibe, everything around the team is at its lowest ebb. Yet his job is not even being considered. So when he speaks, you expect him to reflect a certain appreciation of that fact, that he knows his job is secure. And for that matter, he's forward thinking. He's talking about solutions. He's talking about short-term goals and how he intends to, because every communication is done or carried out with an end goal in mind. And that's where I feel maybe the comms department and Otto himself have to help him. And I don't have a lot of expectations on Otto because he's a rookie who's been thrown into the deep. He's never handled crisis like this. So crisis management, crisis communication, everything he would know about it has to be everything we all learned at the university or something he had someone's. He doesn't have that experience to draw from. This is where if you had a proper structure behind him, then you would have someone from maybe even his backroom staff or someone in the FA structure, be it the comms team, be it the psychology head, whatever it is, telling him that in times of crisis, in our situation, this is how you communicate to achieve this goal.
Wait, so what's wrong with Otto saying that we would win our next, we'll try and win our next 2 games?
I'm saying that's not the issue.
That's not the issue.
I'm saying that in the entire communication,
the qualification,
in the entire post-match
it's not
commentary,
over yet.
in the entire
He
post-match
says
commentary,
Yes.
in the entire post-match commentary,
yeah.
there was not a lot from it that I would look back and say, okay, this is the guy to take us forward, right? Because in everything that we say, and I'm sure we'll talk about the FA and government's role in the malaise that our football has been in for some time now, but he has a responsibility too. And listening to him, I needed to get the sense that he's clear in his mind what this team needs, at least in the short term, to get out of the 2 games that we need to play, because that is his job. Like, we cannot say that because we're waiting for a national policy or the sports ministry to crack the whip on the GFA or the GFA to get its act together. We need to get all of those things sorted before we can win one football match. No, I think something can be done if the conditions are right. And I'm saying to you that in this situation, Otto's job after the game was to communicate in a manner that, one, give clarity in terms of what he wants this team to do, but even before that, show a certain appreciation of the problems we have now and his role in it.
It doesn't adequately address those.
No, but
it
that is
to
again
the
because we don't know the question that he was necessarily.
And that speaks to the problem he's talking about.
So no, but I think if Otto, we played the game on Tuesday. The interview was out on Thursday.
Yesterday, yeah.
If Otto came on Thursday to tell us what we had to do to get, I'll think he wasn't serious, because the issues we have in Ghana football, he can't use 2 days to tell us.
So
he was only addressing the immediate aftermath
that is why
of the game.
That's why I'm
so
saying.
I get why he came out that way.
That what he said did not give me hope that he's the coach to take us to the games.
And
in
that
November.
is fair.
No, but also,
and the
it's
other
dependent
thing
on the
also-
question he was asked.
See, the other thing, no,
You're not listening.
See, that's why
Whatever
I'm saying-
question he was asked,
that's why I'm saying that
he wasn't impressed. So now
I'm
you can't do
saying-
anything about
yes,
what
that's
the
why I'm
question
saying
is about.
that.
Then this one, there is a person who asked him the question. Who didn't give it?
it doesn't end at who asked the question. That's why I said that in the entire FA machinery, right? Be it the psychology, who's the head of psychology, or even Otto's backroom staff, or even the comms department, someone ought to have known that our next communication, be it from a player, be it from the coach, so long as we sit with that person to say that, put something out, we need to be clear in our mind what we are communicating to the people and what we intend to achieve.
Did you read Kudusi's statement?
I did.
Did he give you any indication that he wrote the right things, right? Like, there's nothing in that statement that you pick and
Exactly.
say it was wrong, but it still means nothing because it's all words. Look, for me, I get what Achu's saying. He wasn't inspired. It wouldn't have mattered what anybody from the FA would have communicated in words. Whether they tell us the way forward, whether they tell us the blueprint, whether they tell us what has to be done to restore our game,
Yeah, but
it wouldn't have mattered.
Otto is
It wouldn't
not
have I'm saying
no,
Otto or the FA.
You
It wouldn't have inspired. If he inspired any Ghanaian, I'll be surprised. It wouldn't have inspired me. The words wouldn't have mattered. The way they communicated it wouldn't have mattered.
You need action.
The way they would have written it wouldn't have mattered. Kurt's posture wouldn't have mattered. Otto's crying, whatever, reflection wouldn't have mattered. It would have all come down to action, because we've been here over and over and over again. So this is not a time to buy words.
Okay,
So
so
this is
let
not
me
the time
finish.
to expect words, right? So
Right. While I get that point, I am worried because I thought what he said raised more concerns than anything. It wasn't just he said something, we all forgot about it and moved on. No. And for me,
What's the biggest of those concerns?
one, that we're lucky to qualify for the World Cup. Why do we need that information? Why is that
He
important?
made that point.
that is a
He
very
made
good
to-
information. He
No, he
referred
made
it to
it. He
something.
made it to buttress a point.
That
we
is a
haven't
very good
been
point.
good. He says we haven't been good since 2018.
Thank you very much.
Since
So,
we didn't qualify for the World Cup in 2018.
Why-
And then he's.
Why are you giving us a history lesson?
but we need to know how bad we've been.
No,
like,
I
no,
guess. Hold
wait.
on. I guess. Hold on.
You think-
no, you
you
asked a
think-
question. Why is he giving a history?
Yeah, you think the average
I guess it's.
see, it's like
I
giving-
guess it's evidence that he appreciates where we are,
Thank you.
isn't it?
And the fact that the World Cup papered over cracks that all and the
Yeah,
FA
that
gloated
becomes-
about it. They
it's
didn't
like-
work.
It's like a government whose communicators or appointees are telling us about the state of our problem, right? The problems that they've inherited.
Well, accepting and recognizing the problem is
It's
the
a
first
start.
step.
Just
It's
let
the-
me start.
Just let me finish.
Because in the past they haven't really accepted.
Okay,
that.
you let him
just let me
but
finish.
actually, I disagree with you.
It's-
You'll finish though.
It's like they're doing that and stopping there and not telling us how they intend to look. When you say that, you're not saying it because you know everybody's going to believe in it. No. If you are realistic enough and you appreciate and are humble enough to appreciate the situation that you're in, you will know that in that moment your words do not really have too much value. But it is still expected of you. However, what I thought did a bit of damage was this whole idea that
hang on.
we-
Before you proceed, please. What were you expecting Otto to say?
That's what he's about to say. Right? Go on.
No, I've
No,
spoken,
he has moved on.
I've
He has
spoken
moved
about that though. No, I've spoken about that. That having said the history, having given us the history lesson that he gave for the next 2 games, you tell us that this is my understanding of this, and this is what I intend to do.
But he said
It's
we'll do.
too quick.
He
Hold
said
on.
we'll do everything to
Hold on.
qualify. Oh.
Rather, the bit about how people are still stuck in the past and the players we have are not as good as, bro. Who did Sudan have to beat us? Who did Niger have to beat us? When you do that, it sounds like you are giving excuses, right?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, every communication has to achieve a certain goal.
But that's not what,
unfortunately,
that's not what the coach has said. That's what the Ghanaians are saying. But the coach has not said anything.
but that is the
about
impression
squad.
he leaves.
No, he said we've not been. You see, when Otto says that we've not been good.
No. Respond to the players' bits about the fact that
Otto hasn't said the players are not good.
People are living in the past and that we're not as good.
That is the fans. That's not Otto. That is what fans
Fair
have
enough,
said.
guys. Let's hold our horses. I need to take a very short break. When we come back, I hope you guys have prepared your 5-point action plan to recovery and reboot. I'll give everybody 10 minutes to deliver what you think has to be done. And then I'll take a lot of messages today, including phone calls at the end. Jojo, I hope the phone calls are working today. I don't want to get to the end and you tell me that your phone call has problem. This is game plan. So, guys, you stick with us. When we come, enough of the lamentation. Achu wasn't here to lament last week, so he's come here with his own lamentation.
He just lament.
And he's dragging us back. We were looking at the way forward, okay? So that's what we will do right after this.
As the proud official global betting partner of Arsenal, Betway is bringing you way more with the new fan-exclusive page. Place any bet on Arsenal and you'll stand a chance to win exciting monthly prizes from a range of Arsenal jerseys to memorabilia and more. Not only that, you also stand a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime play on the pitch experience at the Emirates Stadium. Competition ends on the 31st of January 2025. Exclusive to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway. Get way more.
Win big! Just buy any Samsung, TCL, Media, and NASCO electronics and appliances and stand a chance to win free TVs, air conditioners, washing machines, refrigerators, gas cookers, chest freezers, home theaters, small kitchen appliances, and many more. How to enter? Dial star 920 star 888 hash. Select option 1 to enter raffle. Select region of purchase. Enter item serial number and you're good to go. Increase your chances by buying more to enter multiple times. Follow us for weekly and monthly winner announcements. Terms and conditions apply. This is approved and regulated by the National Lotteries Authority on the Caritas Lottery platform.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
Joy 99.7 FM.
We're back with Game Plan on 99.7 Joy FM, hits 103.9 FM. Your messages are welcome on 055-111-1997. Today on the show, we are discussing various 5-point action plans for fixing Ghana football, for the reboot and for the recovery. And the circumstances that have led to today have been coming for the longest time. For the first time in 20 years, Ghana will not, and most likely, Otto says we have a chance. So Ghana are likely to miss out on the AFCON. For the first time in 20 years. Ghana has not played knockout football since 2019 in 5 years. Back-to-back group stage exits at the AFCON without winning a single match. It's never happened in the history of our football. We are at the lowest we could ever be, have ever been in the history of our football. That's the reality. We've not been to an Under-20 World Cup in 9 years. We've not been to an Under-17 World Cup in 7 years. We missed back-to-back women's AFCON tournaments. That's how bad things have been. Our league has no television sponsor. That's how bad it's been. Everywhere you look, we've suffered reputational damage. We've suffered institutional damage. We have suffered on all fronts as far as football is concerned. It was one thing that gave us some joy. At the moment, all it brings is pain. How are we getting out of that pain? I asked the guys to prepare and come and tell me and tell the whole country what you think we should do or begin to do if we want to get back to the top. Daniel Cranting is here as well. He's coming to attack Karim for calling him while he was, I don't know what he was talking to his wife or he was on the phone the whole time. But that's beside the point. Fair enough. So we're back. 055-111-1997. I will open phone lines for you to call and let us know what you think. But now you can send me a WhatsApp message. Also, you leave me a message on Twitter. Use the hashtag game plan. Today I'm going to begin with Muftau, which rarely happens, but he's been itching to go for a while. Muftau,
Thank you.
we've ranted for a long time, the whole week. In fact, for the past few years, that's all we've done. And a lot of us have given solutions here and there, suggestions here and there, but let's bring them home and gather them into specific points. You have 10 minutes.
And the time starts now.
And the time starts now.
Thank
What
you.
is your 5-point action plan to fixing our football?
Number one is spiritual cleansing. Yeah. Oh, you can laugh. You can laugh.
Easy.
I said number one action plan is spiritual cleansing.
Okay.
That must sound funny, right?
Riddle me.
But it is actually a major point. And there is a reason why I'm starting with that point. Thank you. Post GFA elections 2019, right? You step on toes. You have conversations with people. And I recall that time, a suggestion was made to Keto Kreku to meet everyone and bring everyone within the football family under one umbrella. You need a united front to be able to achieve your objectives as president of the Ghana Football Association. He had agreed. He said he was going to play South Africa and come back. That was our first game against South Africa in Cape Coast. But to date, as you and I speak, that thing never happened. Right. I feel that the football community, even within the media, there's lots of division. There's huge division because some people feel hurt. There's deep division because some people feel their businesses have suffered under this administration. This might sound quite weird, but how do you explain Mohamed Kudus missing a chance from 2 years out? How do you explain Iñaki Williams missing a chance from 5 years out? Antoine Semenyo missing chances from 5 years out. In fact, he can't even kick the ball. How do you explain those? Sometimes, just sometimes, right? Maybe once in a while, someone will pop out, will score, will jubilate, and we think, oh, it is over. But one of the things we've forgotten, friends, is that everything that has air, we all don't know what air is, but there might be some spiritual thing behind it as well. So we need spiritual cleansing. And I'm not sure this administration will tell me that they have ever played a single game without going out there to seek spiritual support. It's not possible. It is done all the time. See, Tema Youth are suffering. Ash Gold, Boboy, the people of Obuasi have not had football. Allies suffered. Dambot had issues with Steel Belief, which belongs to the GFA president, because Abdul Karim Zito was an official in their Division 1 or Division 2 game, and when they took the matter, for whatever, they found legal grounds to justify. As you and I speak, Dambot is in Division 2 somewhere. Uncle T Stars has become Akachi Stars. These are businesses of people. Far Rangers, what has become of them? And players, right, have suffered. We were all here when a certain player had a deal with it to restart Belgrade, the FA wrote to FIFA and the club that the guy had been banned. That to date, the guy's career is off. We were here when Yao Ano had a deal in Egypt. The FA wrote to them that the guy had been banned, so they took him off. Friends, all these people, right, if they decide to sit down, or don't even decide, or just one day they're walking on the street because their businesses have suffered, millions of people who benefit from them go like, may this administration never succeed. Friend, any suffering soul, when they decide to use words against you, the possibility of it working is extremely high. You cannot tell me that this group of leaders do not know that they have stamped on toes, and they would need to begin to speak to every single soul and say, we are sorry. That's the spiritual cleansing I'm talking about. We need to cleanse it. Now let me come to the scientific points. You asked me to write, so I wrote them down.
Yes.
You asked that I write.
5 minutes on spiritual cleansing.
Spiritual cleansing. One of them is what the FA Council is doing with Otto Addo. The decision to give Otto Addo a 3-year contract with the option of going 5 years. We need a long-term plan for our football, and we have spoken about this many times. The consistency of chopping and changing coaches have not served us well.
So keep Otto Addo.
Keep Otto Addo for the next 5 years.
That's your point 2.
That is my point 2.
Irrespective of
the outcome of results.
Okay.
By year 3, we would know what Otto can do and cannot do as head coach of this team.
Can I ask a question now? Because
they have always been points, right?
He said keep him for 5 years.
He's already behind time.
He said keep him for 5 years. Then he said by year 3, you know what he can or he can't.
He was given a 5-year contract with an option for 2. So he's saying that.
No, he was given 3 with an option for 2.
But he says keep him for 5 years. That's what he said.
So
I'm saying that by year 3, we know clearly what Otto brings to the table or cannot bring to the table.
Yes. So if we see what he can bring or cannot bring by year 3, and it's not good enough, should we still keep him because you said we should keep him for 5 years, or we do away with him?
No.
Mimi, no. You said 5 years. Now I'm telling you no.
It's a fair question.
No, it's a fair question.
So what do you think should happen after year 3 if it becomes apparent that the performances...
If it becomes apparent that the performances of Otto...
that is not improving.
It's not improving.
Get rid of him.
We should get rid of him.
So the 5 years doesn't work.
We should get rid of him.
Okay, fair enough.
That one we can get rid of him.
Go to point 3. Your point 2 is clear. We need longevity in the coaching.
In the coaching direction of our team.
Right, fair enough.
2.
3.
Point 3.
Yes.
First one is spiritual. Point 3. I want to use the word of Ajiman Bedu. The weapon of Ghana's senior national team has always been our youth teams. He started the example of how the 2000 year group, Michael Essien, Suleiman Tari, Derek Boateng, Samoa Gyan and co, were the base of the national team until the
09 group came.
The 2009 group came. Since then, can we say that we've been able to build an under 20 national team, that we can go to that national team and say that this player is good enough to step into the shoe?
That is the problem which we have established. How do we fix that?
That is why I'm saying that we need to create a platform of getting these players to grow up to the national team.
How do we do that?
Okay. So, for instance, the under 20 group that is currently with Desmond Ofer, a chunk of them played the African games.
Yes.
Right after that, there must be a plan for us to track them. Over the years, you have players walking into the national team, they disappear into thin air. We do not know where they pass. Friends, if we cannot track the best talents we have, and would always allow these talents to go round and round and round, all of a sudden we forget about them, then we are never going to have a consistent plan as to how we want to grow our team.
So if I get you correctly, you're saying that we should take an active role in the development
of the players.
So which would mean taking an active role in determining where these players end up.
End up.
Okay, so that they don't end up going all over the place, and then we have to keep looking for a new one.
In the end, we don't even know where they will pass.
That looks like a difficult thing because
it is a difficult thing, but the FA always talk about how the data of players they have.
Okay.
So if you have the data, why is it that difficult?
Okay, you hold on to that point. We'll polish it up. I'm sure it will. It will clash with another person's point. So there might be better or another angle of
alternative. Yes.
To it. What's your point 4 and point 5?
Okay, my point 4 is our league. See, the success of every single national team all over the world. We can always talk about the problems. Oh, the league is substandard and we do not have quality players and all that. But the success of every single national team is your league.
Okay.
And over the years, we have failed to pay attention to our league to the extent that Rwanda is now the base of where our best talents run to.
So
with all due respect, fix the league.
Okay, I was going to say, how do we do that?
Mr. Okreku says they are fixing the fundamentals. But when the fundamentals are weak, AFCON qualifiers will expose you. CHAN competitions will expose you. Under 17 competition will expose you. Under 20 competition will expose you.
Okay, fix the league. You have a last point?
I think that is basically all the things I wrote down.
Okay, fair enough. We'll come back because we need specifics on how to fix the league, how to fix the youth national teams. As for the spiritual cleansing, I think that was one day your heart inside because you spend half of your time on that.
It did my heart inside rough.
All right, fair enough. So you hang on for me. So as far as Muftar is concerned, he says there are spiritual problems with the team. And he's insinuating it that there are people at the FA who have wronged too many people in the football ecosystem. And those people might be the ones doing this administration. That's an interesting take. So he says they need to seek spiritual cleansing. They also need to fix our youth national teams, fix our league. And what was your third point?
Technical consistency.
And then, yes, longevity.
And keeping Oto for 5 years.
Yes. Keep Oto for 5 years. All right. Achutamaklo.
Yeah.
Let me hear from you. We'll have enough time for everyone to add further points to the points that they're raising because we have some time. I'm going to give you 10 minutes as well, just like I did Muftao. What are your 5 action points to fixing our league and refixing our recovery and reboot?
The first point is actually a low-hanging fruit. Disband the management committees and the search committees. They serve no purpose. They are obstinate. They're just a waste of everybody's time and money. Disband them. Rather, put together a functional protocol office. Whatever job that the management committee so-called is supposed to be doing, Alex Asante and Prosper have been doing it anyway. If it has to do with correspondence with other member associations, if it has to do with correspondence with football clubs that our players represent, with organizers of competitions, whatever it is, those needs, there are people there who are doing it. I would agree if you say they are not enough, and so you want to expand that into a proper protocol unit to handle that. But there are professionals for that job.
And that one department can handle everything.
They can handle it for all national teams. Germany have it. They have one person. Everything runs through Oliver Bierhoff. No be so. They have one person for that. We are broke. We don't have Germany's money. But we waste money as if we are sitting on a bottomless pit of cash. Scrap those committees and the search committees. In fact, as for the search committee, how do you tell me that what's his name? Makado is the man who
has been mandated to hire the coach.
Wait, how do you convince someone like me that Makado understands the technical needs of the Black Stars any better than I do?
And the fact that the search committee only exists when they are looking for a Black Stars coach.
Bro,
no search committee is needed.
And you see, if you look at the CVs of these people on the search committees, Boga, they are accomplished people who know their job. But the product of their work in the football space is horrible because that is not their specialty. Yeah. When it comes to finding a good coach, it is not no. It requires it has to be someone who is trained in the technical space. Maybe not even someone who has coached before, but all his life, all he's been doing is to teach coaches. Those are the kind of people who can tell a good coach apart from, right? At that level, you cannot get that decision wrong. Because the current system we have is the reason why one of the assistant coaches for our national team has more appearances in movie films than experience in elite coaching. John Pinto. Ijabofo.
So
when I was coming here, I was watching excerpts of that clip on YouTube. He has more experience in Kumawood than elite level coaching.
So disband management committees.
Boga, this is the apex football institution of the country.
All right.
You cannot joke with it.
Okay.
You Kumawood subcontractors, and they are the people that you are putting into that job.
Actually,
are you kidding me?
You spent 3 minutes on Kumawood and John Pencil alone.
So make sure that the people who appoint our national team, it is not the emergency committee, it is not the executive council, but put together a functional technical directorate. They will do their interviews and shortlists. If they give you at least 3 or 2 of the best names possible, then together with the sports ministry, the FA will decide based on our budgets, this is who we can afford.
You're making this point because you believe that we've had coaching appointments wrong, which have contributed to our problem. Okay.
And it's not because we've been firing coach. No, if the coach is bad, sack him.
Yeah,
but let the person who makes that decision be someone whose judgment we can respect and trust, because that is their space, that is their bread and butter.
I needed to lay the context of your point for everyone to understand.
Thank you very
much. You're making that point because you feel like coaching is a massive issue or contributor to our problem, and that's also because we've had coaching appointments wrong, and all of those wrong decisions have been because of all these committees. Fair enough.
Yeah. So that's one point. The other point for me is find a central fund for football.
Okay.
Because whatever we say about the national policy, and that's going to be my next point and all of that, you need money. How much money you have to invest into football annually determines what you do with it. Mm-hmm. See, forget all the talk about ideas and policies and all of that. Without money, it is meaningless. So be clear in your mind where your money, and that is why I was big on the revenue sources for the central sports fund that the two parties were talking about. We need to know it is realistic. We need to know how much you will make annually and how much will go into football. For you to then say, at the basic level, your programs with GES are going to cost you $6 million annually. Then we have a conversation about that, because that sits directly with the kind of footballers you are producing at that base level, because the FA doesn't produce footballers at the grassroots level. They only pick from 14, 15 when they are leaving JSS, SSS. That is when the football clubs start picking them. Even with the national teams. The national teams don't go to pick players at under 9 or under 10. They don't do that.
And now Blasters, we don't even pick them at under 17 apparently. We just pick them when they are ready.
So you need that money. What do you do with that money? Which is my next point, which is a national football policy. Now, one of the things the football policy has to address is what talent means. Right? Now, I'm not talking. This is not the FA's job. I'm talking about the sports ministry. They need to be clear in their mind and be in consonance with the experts, that is the GFA. What talent means? Who is qualified to teach talent at the basic level? Are you comfortable with the Winneba graduates, UCC graduates teaching football at the basic level? Is the FA comfortable with what they are teaching the kids? How much value do they add to the talent? Or in terms of the guidance, because at that level, you want players to be very expressive and all of that. Right? How much are you investing at that level to ensure that? Because, and you see, this is how societies grow. You find an aggregate of the things that they do that help them or serve them very well over the years. Those conventions are drafted into a policy. They take some out, they add something to it. When you think of all of the great players, in fact, in our time, the greatest players that we have seen were all either products of the Milo Games, Super Zonals, or the Colts League. So the St. Augustine's batch, the Don Bote, the Boateng, Michaelasians, the guys from the Ashanti region, Suleiman Tari, and that group. Right? That was a product of a system that existed. Now, whether we chanced upon it accidentally or we created it, I'm saying this is what has served us well. Invest into football at the college level
And
shape it, because the people who are going to teach there, don't leave it to just that maths teacher who is a sports or a football enthusiast, right? Now,
so a certain universal coaching program
exactly
that addresses the deficit in coaching at
the
these
base
levels.
at the basic level,
Fair
but
enough.
also money to make these competitions relevant.
Okay.
I'll talk about the Winneba Sports College as well. Samuel Nkum, Abeku Kwanza, Anthony Annan passed through briefly. It has served. It has served as well. We don't have any money. We don't have anything similar to that currently. What you need to do is find the money, go back, rebuild it, clear all the mosquitoes and all the bushes from that place, and make it functional again. When
That
you
allows us to keep players there
So-
and monitor the thing that Muftar was talking about.
exactly. So when you talk about players being foreign to the country and not having any sense of belongingness, patriotism, and all of these things, it is one area where you can directly invest into these kids. Same module that Wafa runs. You sponsor the kids that you choose. If you come in there 2-3 years, you are not making the grade. Out you go. Someone gets the scholarship for JSS. As for currently, there's 3 SHS, right? So from that level, some of them can then make it into the national team because it's just pretty. A lot of them are even going to be in their early teens. So that is where you start building national team culture and character.
All right.
And all of the things that we want to see, that is where it starts from. Because everything that we say about what Enes Nyama was doing in Morocco, and I'm not defending him. I am someone who's been very critical of his shenanigans in Morocco. But that thing happens when people do not feel any sense of belongingness to you. When they feel you are very opportunistic, in the sense that you have a broken structure that does not really invest in them, that denies them opportunities. Because it is not questionable that a lot of these players did not pass through the under 17, under 20, and suddenly they were ready for under 23 and Black Stars. No. Everywhere in the world, the best young talents do not surprise everybody when they make it into the national team. Because you must have seen them in the under 17 and Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham, the Jadon Sancho, the current England batch. You could practically tell where they were coming from. Under 17, under 16, under 17 championships, under 20 championships, and all of that. So when they come into the national team, Kurt would not have to go and stand in front of them and tell them what it means to wear the national team jersey.
Because they would already have learned
it. They already have it.
Okay.
So for me, the
Yes.
central fund is important.
So it's a specific source of funding
Yes.
for our football and our sport.
Yes. The national football policy,
Have a football policy
Yes,
that
that'll be
addresses
fun.
our approach to
funded by now this fund that I'm talking about, Winneba Sports College.
refix it.
Disband the
Committees.
don't laugh. The search committees and what do you call it? The management committees. That for me is the most significant part.
Okay.
The last thing I'm going to say, you asked me for 5, I'll give you 4. The last thing I'm going to say is I've stayed clear of the GFA because they are a lost cause. Boga.
The
It
GFA have a fundamental role in
Boga.
the development of this. In fact, they are
I know.
custodians of
The reason
football.
I've stayed
So
clear
to
of
not
them.
have any suggestions for
The
how
reason I have stayed clear of them is that my taxes pay the government. As for the government, they have an obligation to listen to us. The GFA is they see themselves as a football
an
people.
association.
So, yeah. When you criticize them, don't you hear what they
But
tell you?
you're talking because you have an active interest.
I do, but I'm just saying that this is where the impacts
And the
can
government
be
has
had.
an active interest too.
Yeah, I'm just saying that
If the government listens to you and
Yeah.
you say something about what they should do about the FA, don't you think they'll listen?
they can. But I'm
Good.
saying that
So,
over time,
All right.
the FA has not shown itself open to anybody's ideas.
Has the government?
Yeah,
Okay, fair
in
enough.
some ways.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. I will come back to you, like I said, to add or subtract or whatever it is from the points that you've raised. So everybody will get another chance. Let me go to Sicho as well. He's been listening to the two of you. Sicho, listen, we've come a long way. It's not happened. Lots of points have been raised by these two.
Yeah.
You, in 10 minutes, you tell me what you think are 5 key areas we must tackle to begin our recovery?
Yeah, friend. The problems we have with our football is not isolated. It cuts across all sports. So the first thing I'm going to look at is the umbrella or the power that is supposed to fix sports, and then it narrows down to football, and that comes down to government. So the first thing I'm going to say is that government needs to rethink what sports is. A lot of our decision makers in government now, when they were schooling and when they were coming up, most of the athletes were the kobolos. Most of the athletes were those who didn't like school.
Were they perceived to be kobolos or they were kobolos?
They actually, a lot of them perhaps were. And it got to a time, kobolo, how do you say kobolo? Riffraffs. Stubborn students, people who don't want to go to class. So subconsciously, they've grown with the mentality that people who are very sporty are not necessarily serious.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens. It can happen.
In fact, the constitution still refers to sports.
Be careful.
Look,
I'm just adding to the constitution still refers to sports.
Let him take his 10 minutes, please. We beg.
Look, we will grow from this generation, enter another generation, and something that subconsciously, some things can stay with us subconsciously, and the next generation will see it differently, and it's happening even now.
Yeah.
So they have to view sports differently. They have to understand that sports is business, sports is science, sports is commerce, sports shapes society, sports does many things. When they are able to look at sports in that grand view, then they can put this way. They have policies for health, policy for defense, policy for mining,
education.
They need to now start thinking about sports in that same viewpoint and bring together a massive policy that will shape up sports. Now, when that policy is done, it will direct every association, be it tennis, football, to form or to conform to what the state policies are. So having said what I've said with point one, in government viewing sports differently, then you build a policy that targets various sports, and in this case, football. So point two would be this. The first thing any country, any serious football country has to do is its league. Like, it is your league. And the league has to always be fed. The league has to be fed by young boys and girls who are coming. So what this policy from the government need to even address is what can be classified as a team to participate in our leagues. So it should be a long-term plan. So we can say that in the next 5 years, if you want to participate in our league as a Ghanaian club, you should show this amount of funding.
So something similar to club licensing.
Yes,
but a Ghanaian
context. Then they can tell you that you should have had, or you should have an under 15 boys and girls team in the next, maybe we can say an under 15 boys team in the next 6 years.
Non-negotiable.
If you want to play in the league, then you have under 17 boys team, and under 20 boys team, and then the team itself. If that means that Ghana will only have 10 teams to play in your league, so be it. Right? Now, the reason I'm saying this is that we can talk about Winneba Sports Complex all you like and pick the best talents across the country and take them there, which I will come to. But when these boys have gone to under 17 tournaments, they would have to return to their feeder clubs. Now, if this under 15, under 17, and under 20s are not available at the feeder clubs, these boys will have to find their way out of the country, or they would have to be forced to start playing in the Premier League, even though they aren't ready. So Phil Foden played under 17, but when he was done, he went back to Man City to continue his development. Jude Bellingham, the same thing. Jadon Sancho went back to Man City, the same thing. So every feeder club, every club should have the juvenile teams. They'll play their leagues. The national team will pick their best players. They'll go and play. They'll come back and continue. Then you can be assured of proper chain of successes, proper chain of transitions for clubs. But to also assure that point two has a bit of quality about it, government needs to then think about building capacity.
Right.
So we need to, as a country, decide that our coaches in Ghana, by no fault of theirs, having been given the right opportunity to learn and even upgrade themselves to the demands of the game in 2024 or in the years that are to come. So government must deliberately, the last time we won the AFCON, government shipped people out to go and learn and come back. Government might deliberately create, through the same policy I spoke about in point one, create, educational policies that are able to allow these coaches to fast track and keep refreshing their ideas in the job, so that I can decide to be a coach, but for me, I'm only focusing and specializing in youth development. So if I am a hard to folk under 17 coach, it doesn't mean I'm not a good coach. I could be the best coach in Ghana, but at under 17 level. So if you bring me an under 17 boy, by the time the boy is under 20, the boy is something else. I can be so good that I am under 15. I can be so good that I'm a specialist in disability football. I can be the best women's under 17 coach. So we need to create that if you like educational platform to keep these people going, and not only coaches, physios, psychologists, sports scientists, sports researchers, so that the game grows and then it's what develops.
That's what is happening elsewhere.
That is what is happening elsewhere. So the fourth point then would be that government needs to make sure that crime in football, corruption in football, a lot of the things we call ethical mishaps in football are captured as crime in our constitution. So our sports law should capture match fixing, game of convenience, bribery and corruption, all of these things, embezzlement as crime, to deter people who get into these offices from getting into these things. And I say this because the FA assistants, the way the FA is operating, that has no government supervision, if you like, no policy shaping it up. These people, we have, by no fault of theirs, we've allowed them to determine how Ghana football should go. You get what I'm saying? But we didn't appoint this GFA. We appointed government to oversee everything. So why is it that the GFA are those overseeing everything or determining how football should be run? It should be government. Do you get it? So the policies of government should be able to shape the way the FA even thinks football, and this is not interference. You get what I'm saying? This is not even interference. Then
that you're saying that the football people should be accountable to the laws of Ghana.
They should,
in ways that are punishable.
Yes.
In ways that are deterrent.
Yes.
Because at the moment they seem to be a certain
on their own, a certain cartel, a certain bubble, a certain group that has no proper supervision.
People.
Because when you go to Morocco, this doesn't happen. You get it? It doesn't happen. Then Fent, look, I should have added the point of developing the leagues. Government should, through the policies, also build infrastructure. So I'll leave it there. That one is part of it. Then the final point I'm going to make is that the country Ghana, right, needs to understand. Like I said in the beginning, understand sports. But now in football, the country Ghana should be able to quantify what sports, having done all that I've said, should be able to quantify what sports does to its economy.
The contribution of the sector.
And this is massive, because when that happens and it is clear, every single government knows where to watch, where to focus, and why to invest here and there, right? So that as a country, we can say that football brings this much to our system, to our economy, brings this much to the people of Ghana. Then when we are able to do these 5 things, we will take the absolute control from individuals, and it will be the running of football and sports will be drawn from the national agenda, so that everybody fits into that national agenda, so that in the end, if the under 15 league is well, under 17 league from the clubs are well, and under 20 leagues from the clubs are well, nobody needs to tell us that these players who are out of the end of these league systems can play for the national team. You get it? And once the policy have been done, I don't even want, because of time. When the policy is done, it will come through education. It will come through a lot of things. So players will be drawn from the educational pool. Those who will be trained will be going back to the schools to train people and all of that. So government need to take the initiative, run it down the league. Then it shapes up our policy with sports, shapes up what the crime or the criminal code for sports is, and then it comes down to how much money and impact sports gives to the economy, so that when sports people are talking, they can hit their chest and say that this is how much. When they go to some country, don't joke with tourism, because they know exactly how much it draws to them. In our case, we do not, and I think this is how we need to go. So
that's a fair point. So then, if there's Ghana Tourism Authority as an agency of Ghana Football Association cannot be some sort of independent cabal doing whatever they like. The government has to take an active interest in how the Ghana Football Association runs the football, because government interest in the football itself is huge. It's massive. It has economic consequences. It has social consequences, and that cannot be left with a group of individuals to mess with. And I think that is a fair point. You talk about the coaching education. Why is it that we are always giving out scholarships to people to go and study so many different courses abroad, but we can't give the same scholarships to people to go and study coaching? That's how we have to approach coaching. And I think that governmental approach and relook is what would fix our physical education system in the country. Most schools now don't even have a playground. A lot of them are scrapping physical education from the calendar. And even for those with physical education, they don't even have enough teachers who have the right knowledge to teach the physical education. Stretch, movement, that is one part of physical education. But taking professional sport from schools is another massive part of physical education. And that part is missing. Because very rarely now in our primary schools do we have inter-school competition at primary school at GSS level. The biggest sporting competitions start from secondary school when the kids are 13, 14, 15. It's too late. You go around all the academies in the world, the training starts from age 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are starting late. And a policy and governmental policy will address that. Then it would indicate where the development needs to start from and then continue from then on. Daniel Cransing, it's 30 minutes after 2 p.m. You have 10 minutes.
If he has 10 minutes, check the clock.
He
has got to connive.
You are not
he is a conniver.
You are not the moderator. Please, Daniel Cransing.
It's a problem.
Timekeeper. What is your problem?
He has connived.
And it was your progress.
What's your problem? Danny K, let's hear from you.
Friend,
Yes.
mine is dictator tactics.
That's right.
Where we've reached, if you don't put your foot down, nothing will change.
These diplomatic answers or suggestions, we need radical approaches. Okay, fair enough.
I'm going heavy military dictator tactics.
No wahala.
Do it or I sack you.
Sometimes that's what's needed.
Yes.
Sometimes that's what's needed.
My first point will be to focus on reviving juvenile football.
Very important.
Juvenile grassroots football.
How do we do it?
Now, this is how I'm going to do it. Very practical. As a government, I will create 16 academies, government-funded academies in all the regions.
Similar to Right to Dream.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
With the model of Right to Dream. 16 government academies.
All of them with schools and pitches and teachers and dining halls.
Thank you very
Basically, sports academies, secondary schools with sports.
Yes.
Basically, that's what it is.
In addition to that, I'll go further, like Right to Dream, and negotiate foreign partnerships, club partnerships with each of the academies. So, Right
There
to
will be a
Dream.
department in charge of those schools, and that
Yes.
would be their job.
Thank you very much. So every single academy in every region will be affiliated to a club outside Ghana. Now those partnerships will include exchange programs for coaching and
Yes.
for players also.
Yes.
So when we partner, You bring your people to come and teach my coaches, and then over time, when it reaches a point I don't need you again, then you will be there. Me too, I'll be here. But it will equip my people to be able to coach my players and then improve them, add value to them.
And to add to what you're saying, we don't necessarily need to build them. We can identify which schools in the various regions have some capacity, and then we can adapt those schools for that and then add to it whatever facilities they are missing. So you don't need to build everything from scratch.
Secondly, point 2 to leagues.
Right.
I'll trim down the number of teams. And I'll start by strictly enforcing the club licensing rules.
Strictly. The emphasis is on strictly.
Every club that doesn't meet,
out.
I'll sack you. I'll delicense you. You don't exist anymore.
And if you are level 5, so be it.
So be it. I will strip. Look, 16, 18 teams for what? They are not adding any value. So I'm going to cut down that number. Then what I'll do next is to task corporate Ghana to partner the teams that are left. So that 25 million that they call the companies to raise money for Black Stars, I will ask the companies to partner and invest in those teams.
So there's benefit to strictly
thank you
adhering to the club licensing.
Strictly. If one blade of grass is brown on your disc, I'll sack you. I'll not give you license. That's how strict we'll do it.
Because there's benefits to it. All those that get license eventually will get money.
Yes.
So you can't do any lousy job and come and collect the money.
Look, and I'll do it across board.
What problem does that fix?
Not just the Premier League, not just the division. In fact, 3 divisions of maximum 12 teams
each.
Premier League, Division 1, Division 2, or however you want to put it. That will be how I'm going to streamline the system. To be frank, there are too many clubs that should not exist in this country. If as a business you should be able to prove that you can be able to be long lasting. If you can't, I will take away your license. It's as simple as that. So 12, 12, 12, top division, second division, third division, maximum 12 teams. No more. That's my point 2. So all of them are tied. My point 3 is I'll go back to the school system. Now you see, with the point 1, the setting up of the academies is very similar to Clairefontaine. Clairefontaine is not just one. France have it in various regions. Exactly. Clairefontaine is just the most famous one. But I'll go back to the school system because it's not everybody, and to be frank, it's not every parent in Ghana who is comfortable allowing their children to go to the academy system. Most of them are not too confident, and it is a fact. Most of them are not too confident when it comes to the educational aspect of the academy. So there are those who want to go through the normal school system, go to your normal primary, your GHS, SS. So I'll infiltrate the educational sector with the GES. And what I'll do is that there are already certain schools who are notable in terms of performances in intercore and things like that. I'll look at those schools and increase their funding or their budget for sports. Now with that budget, we are going to put in sports specific, and this is not just a football point, sports specific trainers. So I'll get in juvenile coaches for football. Then you get in a couple of athletics coaches, so that the talents who will not go through the academies and things, who decide to go to school, be well taken care of over there. Then I'll streamline again the intercourse system so that it will be very deliberate. It's not just about going to school and competing and winning trophy. There needs to be an end goal to it. So I'll streamline that system and model the intercore in a way that there is a reward at the end of it. If you are the best player at intercore, there is a reward for you when you finish school. And we are guaranteed that you are getting the same, or you are being trained or coached with the same syllabus that I'm training my 16 academies with. And all other academies that I'll give license to operate who are outside my 16. So we are all sharing the same syllabus, but you don't need to join the 16 if you want to become a professional footballer, a professional sportsman. I hope you understand the picture. So after that, I will set up scholarship programs for student athletes to enter those schools. So if you are in primary school and your father,
because the assumption is that the academies are already full scholarships.
yes, they are
So,
full.
but then the other schools,
Thank you.
You establish another scholarship scheme for those going there to do sports.
Yes. So if you want to go to Prempeh, and Prempeh is on my school list as one of the schools that has my scholarship program, and I have increased their sports budget, there will be special scholarships for students who are entering those schools specifically to play football. I hope you get it.
And this is important and feeds into a point Achu made about having a central fund for sports.
Yes.
Because without that, we won't get the money.
So, setting up a scholarship system, and then, as I said, every sports master in the schools that I will pick out will have certification. So you will have the required certification for coaching juvenile football, so that it is basically like you are in SS or you are in JSS, but you are getting the same level of education or football education as those who are in the academy system. Now, to even further reward student players in that, what I'll now do is that I will put in place a draft system where the top, let's say 24 players in the school system, when they are graduating, so that they are guaranteed jobs, and the jobs is professional contracts. Once they graduate, I know that these top guys already have the football education necessary to play at the high level, because they've been taught during their time in school, and they have played high level competition during their time in school. So there will be a draft system, 24 players, top 24 players. All the 12 teams in the league will have to pick 2 of them. So it is a must. When you are registering your players for the following season, you have to include 2 players from the school system in each team, and that will continue season after season after season after season after season after season. Must. If you are unable to register 2 players in your team, that one too, I'll collect your license and I'll give it to somebody else who will come in. Look at how Nkrumah did the Royal Republicans team at the time. He came in, he collected the best players. If you protest, you don't like it, you will take your license and give it to somebody else to come and play. The football, it will go on, but the quality is what we can't compromise on. So all these points I'm raising is speaking to how you to raise the quality of the game, because now you are having a streamlined juvenile program where players who go through these academies will get foreign contracts. The ones who don't get foreign contracts are being fed into the league system. Then the ones who also decide to go to school also have sort of guaranteed jobs when they finish school, going into the league system by virtue of the draft system.
And all of this, like you're saying, it goes without saying that these academies and this system will feed our youth national teams.
Yes.
Which will then feed the senior national team, fixing all the problems we've spoken about.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Then point number 4. I will have university. Have you seen that? Is the time up? I see 4 minutes and 50 seconds. You are telling me the time is up.
You see the corruption.
Who went to school? Number work. Not you know how to read time.
Point 4. Go on.
Point 4. My university sports programs. You see, there are certain schools in this country that do sports science, sports. Yeah. They need to be rewarded. They need to know that when you go to school and you do certain courses like this, it should benefit our sports in the country. But it is not. Currently, as it is not. So what I will do is that the sports scientists, the sports psychologists, all these things, the best performing students in those various courses, guarantee. So you did sports science, a Premier League team will hire you to their backroom staff. And you see, I spoke about foreign partnerships. So all these people will come, help out, bring knowledge, exchange of knowledge. Why is the thing echoing? Put that thing off and let me continue my thing. The thing they echo for the studio is confusing me. I don't like that. Tell you, the thing is echoing. I don't like that.
Your time pass. He's allowed you to talk.
No, it's confusing me. The thing is,
Go ahead.
the thing is confusing me.
I just put my microphone off. That was what I did.
Okay. Your apologies accepted. See, the sports science, all these things are a part of it. But we need to be able to streamline it so that they all work together. And these things will come with certain guarantees where people know that they are not just studying these things in vain. And there's a guarantee that you will get employment to help with in the grand scheme of things. So all these sports scientists and best performing students, I will put them in the various national teams, club sites, and based on their competence, I will hire them for the senior national team.
How do you intend to train all these people? From which school?
They'll be in school. That's what I'm saying. There are certain schools that are doing these courses.
Are they enough?
There are plenty of people who are graduating. If it's not enough, then I will force certain schools to come. I will They should be. They are enough.
The problem is that you might even produce too many students than the system can even.
It is even rewarding the best.
Yeah.
It's not everybody who finishes school who will get a job, who will get a top job. So
or get the same job.
Exactly. So I'm rewarding the best and making sure that the promise that they show in school will be rewarded in the job market. And then the last one, the management of national teams will come with certain terms and conditions. This one I'm talking as a government. The GFA, they say the football people, they run the football. That's fine. All these policies that I've put in place, they will be forced to do it. But when it comes to the national team, they have a very funny way of wording some things and doing some gymnastics. But when it's time for us to pay coaches and things, that's when they know us. Okay. Dictator tactics. What I will do, if you don't fix your pram with the FIFA forward money, which is enough to turn that place into a world-class facility.
It is enough.
With proper hostel system. In fact, I'll draw the plan for them, so they don't even need to draw a plan. I'll draw a plan for them. They should have hostels for senior national teams, under 23, under 20, under 17. Same for the women.
They don't even need for different hostels for them. Just have hostels that can accommodate all of them at different times.
No, they need different ones because they can clash. Like we went to Morocco. There were times where they are under 17 and so they can't be sleeping in the same place.
No,
thank you.
But
it should be big enough.
Yes.
It should be big
exactly.
enough. And if you are even smart, where the senior national teams play will come, like the Black Stars and the Black Queens, you can elevate it to 5-star hotel level. And when they are not in camp, you make it a hotel. People come in, they pay and they go.
It happens everywhere around the world.
All do it. So this is all smart. So I'll help you to be smarter.
The Chelsea Hotel, all the clubs have hotels next to their stadium. So the players live there or the players camp there. If they are not available, if they are going somewhere, it's available. It's a room.
Yeah.
Somebody can go and stay
And
there.
I'll give them a year to do that because there's money to do it. You've seen the buildings in town. When there's money, 3 weeks they finished. Quick.
They've gone for 2.5 million from the sports ministry.
2.8.
So
2.8 million.
You let me wrap up. I've seen the red line. So what I'm saying is that if you don't do that, after that 1 year I give you, I'm not paying for camping. The government will not pay for camping. The government will not pay for will not pay per diem and these things, because if that thing was in place, feeding and everything will be sorted out. So I'm giving you a year, and then after that, what you said, no, the management committee said, I'm scrapping all of them. We don't need that. Scrapping everything. All the players will get what I'll term national team bonus. There's nothing like appearance fee or winning bonus or anything. It will be simply a national team bonus, and I'm confident in that because there will be so much quality. If Atu say he won't come because you won't get appearance bonus, Mufta will be there ready to take his place. England, when you go to England, no, do you see appearance fee and winning bonus and this thing, participation bonus and
No.
No.
All right. So fair enough, Danny K. Well done. Fair point. And listen, this is the other issue. As for the issue of the management committees, it's a criminal endeavor. Because the government white paper, the German Affairs Commission banned the establishment of management committees. The white paper accepted that recommendation. Why are we still doing it? we still doing it? It's a criminal endeavor. And the government, whose laws, who put together that commission with the powers of a high court, indicated that that should be scrapped. The government comes and says, yes, we agree it should be scrapped. And these people are doing it. And everybody's watching. I mean, we'll take a very short break. When we come back, I have your messages, and then I will take some phone calls, and then we'll wrap up with the guys adding to the points that they have all raised. This is Game Plan on 99.7 Joy FM and Hits 103.9 FM. We're back on 99.7 Joy FM. This is Game Plan. My name is Fentio Tahiru Fentio. The show is live on Hits 103.9 FM as well. It's proudly sponsored by Betway and Petrosol. But let me also tell you about Chopbox Technologies. They're delivering all of your goodies to your children in secondary schools. Whatever it is you want to send to them, books or whether it's food or whatever you want to send to them, you can send it to them using Chopbox. You can just go to chopboxonline.com, or you can download the Chopbox app now, or call them on 0530 474 694. We have your messages on 05511119997. You can call the same number. Opening the phone lines now for the next 8 minutes. 05511119997 or 0302 216 541. When you call, be brief. Just tell me where you think we need to fix first. If we are to begin our recovery, the recovery of our football. When you call, be brief, okay? 05511119997 and 0302 216 541. I've got WhatsApp messages that I'll be going through and taking the phone calls as well. This message says, good afternoon. The FA must do broader stakeholders consultation where they will take views. Lots of people in the football ecosystem are hurt. Palmer, Nana Yaume, Ponsa, Mickey Charles, and a whole lot. The FA must go to them and reconcile with them. Remember, those people have supporters and they're all against the FA. This is Abner Speed with that particular message. Let's go to the phone line. What's your name and where are you calling from? Okay.
My name is Eben.
Yes, Eben.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
And your panelists.
Thank you very much. Keep it brief for me.
Because of time, I just want to talk on coaching aspects and ask some few questions. My number one question is, please, if Otto Addo, the only good coach Ghana can lay its hands on, my answer is no. Number two, why is my darling man, Radomir Djokovic? Please, try anything to bring this man back to us. Number three, if it can be possible, cannot get Radomir Djokovic, we can trace that former World Cup winning coach, Radomir Roger Lamé from France, or that man go home week.
All right.
For this practicality with Coach Otto Addo must be put to a halt with immediate effect.
Okay. We're going forward, though, not going back. Djokovic at this time, champion. But thanks for your call, nonetheless. Ghana should take a 5-year break from international football. This is a message, and do some serious scouting and what have you. This is Kofi from Airport with that particular message. This message says, good afternoon, guys. I think we should go back to the basics and then and search for talent from our schools and communities, dissolve the EFA and get good people, good football leadership for the ministry as well. This is here, Chris, with that message. Let's go to the phone line. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, hello. Apia.
Yes,
Thanks.
Apia. Keep it brief for me. Go ahead.
All right. You see, the message that Otuado gave to us after the failure in Libya, it's an indication that he cannot do the job. Because if he died 2 days, then I'm sure he has resurrected. So he should resurrect and then see the reality by asking the GFA guys to either reassign him to the junior team or he resigned.
Okay, fair enough. That's a very strong point. Okay, wow. Ben in DC says, I think Otto has a genuine problem. His English is not top notch. He thinks in German first and then translates it to English. That's why he communicates, and we have a challenge with what he says. More messages here. This one says, hello, Joyce. Our football problems can be solved from fixing the following: poor management, the bar system and structures, coach football, inter-school and colleges football, soccer academies, and coaching deficiencies. This is Francis from Abokobi. Let's go back to the phone line. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yo, my name is Aben Kwai. I'm calling from Hachi.
Go ahead.
So all that has to be done has been said already. It's just getting the basics right, and then the result will be there for everyone to see. By doing so, man, Daniel mentioned in coma and how he did certain things. At the time, we call it Bejimibre. Today, we say we are grown, we have qualifications, and yes, this is where we are. Which means that the people that we put in these places, it's a problem. So before some of these things will be successful, it's either we are sacking people or we are re-interviewing them again to see they qualify. We need for to not just.
All right, fair enough. I'm sorry that I had to cut you, but your point is very well made, that the people are not qualified enough. Some of them are not good enough to do the job that they've been put in there to do. Let me take a few more messages. This was a good good afternoon, guys. The next AFCON is hosted by Morocco, and the Black Stars will not qualify. To prevent our politicians from flying party for soldiers with our taxes. The King Selassie from Adenta Pantine, he sent that message. This message is from, I think this one is from Kwesi Ofori in Washington, D.C., listening to us. He says, I think giving hope of qualifying is fine. All Ghana Black Stars need to do is to win the last 2 games and get the maximum 8 points. Who knows? If Sudan loses the last 2, which is very unlikely, we will qualify. All right, Kwesi, thank you very much for your message. This one says, my 5-point plan is simple. Sack Cat, arrest Cat, jail Cat. And he ends by saying, sue. D, with that message. D, thank you very much for sending us that message. Very strong message to Cat. Good afternoon, guys. If your mother is dead, this is how I'll fix our football. Overhaul the current football structure and administration, develop a comprehensive long-term plan, let the leaders work independently, and he said, may God punish anybody who wastes our time. And he said, by the way, they won't do anything. Let's think about our lives. Everything we are saying, people in charge of the game know already. Dale in Madrid with that message. Sichofe, Daddy K, Muftan Avila Abdullah, and Achita Maklo. In this country, there's never enough time to do anything. But thank you very much for your brilliant thoughts, as always. We're back again next Friday with another edition of Game Plan. This show will be available as a podcast. You can listen and download on all podcast platforms. It will be available on the YouTube channel of Joy News. And you can find it and listen back. For all of you that called and for all your messages, including those that I couldn't read, thank you so much for choosing Game Plan. And thanks a lot for your efforts and your inputs and contributions. We are back again next Friday. Up next, though, right now, is the BBC World Service. My name is Fentu, Tahir Fentu.
Kenyans, authorities in Ivory Coast suspend a powerful student union accused of sowing terror in campuses.
It's sad, but people can carry arms or carry knives as if it was a